And one particularly vocal group here at the Civic Center was a group of minors positioned right behind Donald Trump. The hope is that with incentives like these, kids will always make the healthier choice. Now, if you don't have someone to clear your driveway, unfortunately, that means you got to do it yourself. And you can see here just how deep this snow is. Paul says he never dreamed that the water would come into his store because it never has before. But when it did, he moved up to this next level of the store, but even that wasn't enough. 6 deputies from the McDowell County Sheriff's Office are scheduled to be laid off at the end of the year due to budget problems. Now, residents tell me that the water line came clear above this sign here, which you can see is even taller than my car. While most of the flood survivors are sleeping in here in cots in air conditioning, Mr. Shiflett sleeps out here with the dogs in the 90-degree heat. Wilson says something as simple as taking your dog on a walk every day can help you reach your health goals. And let me tell you, this water is plenty cold. It's about 36 degrees. And you can see behind me many of the church volunteers here working to sort through all of the thousands of donations. Now, I spoke with one of the volunteers here who said she hates to see all of the negative posts and pictures on Facebook because all it really does is hurt these guys. Now, anyone who's been in the area on game day knows that this parking lot, along with pretty much every parking lot in Huntington, is filled with tailgaters. And Miles says that besides the fact that thousands of Boy Scouts were already signed up to come here, they're just not set up for that because of how spread out they are. He says he hopes to not only remember the Orlando victims, but also reach out to members of the LGBT community who may be here in Lewisburg. Angels come in many different forms. For the people of Raynell, angels came in the form of deputies, church members, and volunteers. When the water began to rise, the Anstead Baptist Church opened their doors to those who needed help. Shelter manager Libby Campbell says while it's heartwarming to see all these people coming together to help, it's not surprising.
To me, this is ordinary for our community. They've always done it. You know, I love our community. You know, you can come back tonight and you'll see 3 times this. In fact, we could probably, by the time we get through, help the other shelters. But if I'm understanding right, some of them's coming here. And this church has just opened it up. They've opened up their classrooms. They opened up their sanctuary last night where most people would not say. We've had 30 dogs and cats. So, no, it doesn't surprise me. It's heartwarming, but it doesn't surprise me.
These volunteers, deputies, and rescue workers have become a pillar for these people to lean on, but even angels can't walk away unscathed.
It's heartbreaking. I had a little girl come to me at 4 o'clock this morning. She got off the bus. She was teary-eyed. She was dirty. She was wet. She just come up to me. She just asked if she could have a pair of shoes.
This shelter is now filled to capacity with over 200 people staying there, but another Anstead shelter has opened at the Sunday Baptist Church. Our local communities are proving to us all that angels truly do walk among us. In Anstead, I'm Rachel Ayers for Newswatch.
There's just no hope. I mean, people are just not even looking for work, and there's none to be found.
Drive through McDowell County, and it won't take long to see who is the most popular presidential candidate. In fact, in this year's primary election, a higher percentage of people in McDowell County voted for Trump than anywhere else in the country. So what about the Republican nominee speaks to this county?
We're going to put the miners back to work. We're going to put the miners back to work.
Years ago, McDowell County was nationally recognized as an epicenter for coal producing, and residents believe they can get back there with the help of Trump.
There's a lot of coal still in this state. I mean, it's not just us, it's Kentucky, you know, and we just definitely need his support. Now, Hillary, she's made it very clear that she's not for this state, you know, as far as the coal miners are concerned.
Drive these roads and you'll find plenty of out-of-work businesses, such as this coal processing center just outside of War. And in a county that's literally ran on coal for years, they say the only option is Donald Trump. And due to this lack of jobs, many people have resorted to drugs. The county has the highest rate for drug overdoses in the state.
People have turned to, alternative means of trying to make a living and, hiding their anxiety and fears. and because of the shutting down of the mines.
Matt Detch is a Democrat running for the U.S. House of Representatives 3rd District. He says although Trump is a Republican, he can see why so many people are drawn to him.
McDowell County is the poorest county in the entire country. They're really feeling, I think there's a lot of anger and a lot of animosity toward the system, whether it's the economic system or politics that exists currently. And I think that Donald Trump represents an anger and a frustration with an existing system, and that resonates with people.
Jessica Harmon was a longtime Democrat, but is now an avid Trump supporter.
From the time I was 18, I was a Democrat. And then when I became 44, I changed because 83 years of Democrats running this state has just really gone downhill. There's nothing here. There's no jobs. From the time I was a little girl, the things that was here in this town is not here no more.
And as for Trump's previous statements on women, well, she just doesn't care.
One of the real big things I liked about him is because he was not politically correct. He hasn't been politically correct. If he said those things, he said them. I used to work at the courthouse with women, 9 other women. They said worse things than he has. So to me, to degrade him for that or take him down for that is no reason not to vote for him. But for her to say that Hillary, to say there will be no coal in West Virginia, that's a reason not to vote for Hillary.
The sentiments of McDowell County seem to ring true through most of West Virginia. Political website 538 projects Clinton has a 0.3% chance of winning the Mountain State. While it may be safe to assume Trump's win in West Virginia, national polls remain tight less than a week outside of the election. In McDowell County, I'm Rachel Ayers for Newswatch. Senator Joe Manchin made his first public appearance on Friday since the rise in price of the EpiPen. Manchin's daughter, Heather Bresch, is the CEO of Mylan, the company that makes EpiPen. Manchin says he recognizes that this is an issue and wants to find out why it's happening.
Well, I did respond to that yesterday, basically saying that with my colleagues, we're waiting to see basically the results. Mylan spoke yesterday, my daughter spoke on that issue. And I think we all need to find out, if Mylan's charging $274 for the product, but when it gets to the retail, for you and I to buy it on the retail shelf, it's $608. What happened to the $325, $30? Where did that go? So this is something we got to find out why prescription and why medicine is so costly, and how come the middlemen, or what's causing it. I mean, we're going to find out.
And buying an EpiPen isn't the only thing that's going to be more costly. It's also going to cost quite a lot to keep Bresch on staff at Mylan. She recently gave herself a pay increase of $17 million. Manchin says he doesn't have much to say on that.
I have nothing. I mean, that's so far out of my league, honey. I would have nothing to say about compensation, and I don't know how in the private sector that's done. I know what we as legislators make in Washington, and how that's done. It's all controlled by legislative pay. Private sector is private sector.
On top of being his daughter's company, Mylan is also a large campaign contributor to Manchin. In the last 5 years, he's received $58,250 from Mylan, making them his second largest contributor in that time. Even after all this, Manchin says he will continue to take money from the company.
We just do, whoever wants to help, we look at that. The good companies, basically, the leading company in West Virginia, the 5th largest employer we have, I would hope they would support me.
And he says he sees no conflict of interest with the contributions.
Not at all. No, I'm not going to do anything differently than I've done. I mean, basically, the people that support anybody in the public arena, the bottom line is you owe your allegiance to the constituents. I never have owed any allegiance to basically people that want to contribute. Hopefully people want good government. They want good government, they invest in that, and the people should basically be transparent, which we've always been.
Congressional leaders have said they plan to look into this issue and decide if there is a way to lower the cost. Only time will tell what Manchin's involvement in that movement will be. In Lewisburg, I'm Rachel Ayers for Newswatch.